It feels like forever since we've done a cast, but it really hasn't been that long. We are going to be hopping into the Farewell Zombiegrub Sendoff tournament, and I don't know what to call it at this point. It's just a tournament we threw for some fun. We want to say have some good games, and this first one should be interesting to say the least. Spawning on the upper left side of Bridgehead, it's going to be the European Zerg player, Guru.
On the right side, the American Protoss player, it's Puck.
Guru is asking all these questions because before we start the game, he asked Puck if he was from North America, and Puck did not reply. And nor is he inclined to. It's just interesting that he's so I don't know. Why does he need to know?
That's what I'm wondering, and I'm sure Puck is too. I mean, maybe Guru is going to go ahead and blame lag if he's on an A. Maybe that affects the servers they go on or something. I don't know.
Well, in fairness here as well, he should know Puck. Puck is not a no-name player. He's not an A-list player. You don't see him at the top of tournaments, but like everyone knows.
Well, what
Puck.
if he know? What if he doesn't know it's? Well, no, it's on the brackets as Puck. So
yeah, he's on the brackets as Puck. He's in game as Solace. Yeah.
His real ID though is a barcode, so that's
Whoa.
confusing. I wonder if they're gonna fix that.
So I don't know how I feel about this. It's 3 hatch before pool, which is not terrible. Oh, sorry, I guess there's hatch pool then start hatchery. Point is, though, fast thirds in Legacy of the Void are not a bad thing, but I feel on Bridgehead this is a particularly vulnerable map that is easily exploitable by people who can either bust through the back rocks or just push through the front. I have no idea how Puck's going to play this, but it is worth noting, guys, that Puck is playing a lot of Legacy, and he's playing it quite well recently.
The problem right now in Legacy, though, is that it might be better to have a boosted economy initially. You know, obviously we don't see a lot of things that were once defended with drone pools, like 6 pools and whatnot, because drones are so numerous, still pretty good. They tend not to work. So the cheeses have kind of fizzled out, but there's still definitely opportunity to do so. So it actually might be the basis, like what everyone does, the 3cc of Legacy of the Void, in like a year for Zerg to always go 3-hatch very, very quickly because they can always get away with it. I mean, it is what they did in Heart of the Swarm after all, normally against Protoss.
Yeah, it's interesting too to see Puck respond to this with his own greed, by the way. Now, there are some things that have changed, and this is Legacy of the Void, and maybe some of you guys haven't been really keeping up on it. It's your first cast you've seen in a while. As you'll notice right here, it's the first thing I was going to start talking about.
Necessary?
A photon overcharge on a pylon. This can no longer be cast on the Nexus. It's strictly on pylons. The range is reduced, but the damage is high. And what was really stupid is it only costs 25 energy. So you ask, is that necessary? And I say, it doesn't matter because it's so friggin' cheap.
So stupid. The one downside is, I guess, like pylons die quicker than Nexus, obviously. So there's that. And the other downside is that it doesn't last as long. So, I mean, but it just doesn't seem to matter. Like, to be able to burst down whatever you need to. Or maybe we're biased because we're Terran players and it always seems to be getting the medevac. I don't know, but it's pretty insane to be able to overcharge 6 different pylons. Anyways, that aside, we do have Guru going for Roachworn. I guess we mostly cast Bly, which is also skewing our perception on macro builds for Zerg.
I feel like when we cast Bly, we're not casting Zerg, we're casting Bly, right? Like, it is a very distinct
difference there. But like maybe every single Zerg except Bly and Nurchio is going for 3-hatch, you know, pretty quickly, but they just are really aggressive.
That is a very real possibility. I do want to take a quick break, though, before this game gets too far into it, to give a huge shout-out and thank you to Gnome John. This guy, earlier this month, donated $750 to create a tournament later in October, and that's great, but his generosity, it does not stop there. He just donated $50 and says, we'll miss you, Zombiegrub. Come back soon. I know you'll still be casting, but have a great trip.
I was gonna say, I literally am.
Yeah, see? He's got your back. That's a true beard-stroking fan. He knows what's up.
Oh. What's up?
Oh, the Adept almost gets trapped, but should be able to get away with the transfer. Yep. Ooh, almost gets caught by the second queen, though. Interesting way for Puck to be using the Adept like this, too. Oh, mistake on that tumor, but using it more for scouting than harass. I mean, you just got a couple of units with it, not a big deal, but I really was expecting Puck to do a little bit more. I guess we've seen the power of early Adept attacks without being all in. We've seen the amount of drones it can slaughter, so it's kind of interesting to see him not go that path. Double overcharge to see if this gets dicey, which it probably will not.
It looks like Puck is going very like Heart of the Storm right now. I'm getting away with that quick of a third base doesn't usually happen, but even then there are some quick third builds in Heart of the Swarm versus Zerg. But Blink Sentry with a Robo on the way, this is not what we've been seeing in Legacy of the Void. We've been seeing a lot of Adept all-ins.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, I think the Adept is really great for the mid game, and while we do have roaches like coming out at some point, the whole point is that you can't really go Hydras as easily anymore. Adepts are too sturdy of a fighter, they do too much damage, they break the lines, they can get behind them. There's a lot of really annoying factors that come with the Adepts. So I kind of like that Guru's not actually gone for Hydras to mix in with this, but instead just primarily roaches and what is a faster infestation pit. Swarm hosts even, my gosh.
Oh. Well, Swarm hosts aren't bad on this map, but they're still overall not that great.
No, they're not, but I remember that game you cast. I unfortunately was on the sidelines at Hells with Time Jadong versus Hart, using the Storm Host on the backside and whatnot. It was really cool, and I would love to see if that's his plan for this.
Yeah, it has to be. It's like the one map where they have an excuse to be made now that Van Eye, of course, is gone. Yeah, because otherwise they don't do anything to help when actual push comes to shove. So they need to have some pretty good harassment options. Also making some Ravagers. Ravagers upgrade also on the way. Still need to update that because 2 roaches is just.
It looks silly. It's
what does it mean?
I'm telling you, it's the length of 2 roaches. Like each roach is fat enough to cover 2 yards, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. I really want to see how these swarm hosts come into play. Now it's well, it'll be interesting. Here we go. I forgot that they come pre-built with flying now. You no longer have to research that. And their damage is pretty severe, as we see quickly tear down. Oh my gosh, like all these gateways. Some roaches get caught on the north side of the map, but I don't know, almost irrelevant. These locusts did so much damage.
Oh, that's super true.
Adepts. Oh my god.
Even the recall being forced out here kind of sucked, but this is the problem. Like, when push comes to shove, they are not so useful. They have a super long cooldown on the locusts, and the locusts that they're attacked on in the air, they actually do die. You can attack them in the air and just not have them do any damage at all. That was good damage. Gateway's going down. It was kind of expensive, but was it enough? I don't know.
It kills in the warping potential. Buck did have to throw down 3 more to make up for this. Gotta give some big love though in chat to Yui. Just subbed to the channel. Missed you, girl.
Hello.
It's here at BlizzCon. She's an adorable, positive ball energy, guys. And if all things go according to plan, you might see a bit of her on the channel in the near future. But shout out to you for the sub. All right, so we got the really fast warp-ins here, which are nice. We got Locusts continue to be abused down here to the south, still knocking out these gateways. This is like the Scarlet tactics to stopping a big Protoss attack.
What? Did distract him?
No. How do you stop an 8 gate? You turn it to a 7
Oh,
gate.
you just kill all the gateways. Right.
Alright, Swarm has to get caught a little bit here to the north. Link's trying to buy a bit of time against this. Puck could use the Ravagers to break those force fields. Let's not forget.
Yeah, but no one remembers.
I don't know, because no one has ever used the Ravager for the one intended use of the Ravager. These Locusts are off cooldown. He could certainly shoot them out. Looks like he will try to use this defensively. Again, if these land, they're going to take down a lot of Stalkers before they go down.
There's a couple Ravager shots on the army. Oh, the Blink Stalkers are starting to go away. These are also upgradeless Blink Stalkers, where usually at a time like this, we'd see +2. That forward is pretty late.
Even so, still starting to break through. Swarm host getting a couple of shots. Yep, another one goes down. I mean, these Stalkers are all very weak, but the second Puck just takes a few seconds, generate a couple of shields. He goes back in there with full force, and his army value is much, I guess, not higher, but better just through the way Blink works.
Dark Templar also going to go into the back, I imagine.
Ooh.
They're being warped in somewhere.
Right into the War Prism, so scatter. Scatter, boys! Yeah. But there's already Spore Crawlers at each of these bases, so Guru looks like he's covered.
Yeah, but there's not army at every single base, so these 2 going in right now don't have anything to really stop them.
It's very true.
Queens.
Actually, they don't have detection here in the main. The natural does have a Spore Crawler, of course, but the army's being used to distract.
Oh!
Ooh. Big Corrosive Bile hit there. So DTs will get some kills in the natural, which is nice. The question is if it'll be enough. Both players have a pretty decent bank behind this, and Skype died. Rip Skype. Shoot, I don't know. Stupid program. We'll get that fixed up afterwards. Sorry, guys. In the meantime, another Time Warp comes down in a bit of an awkward spot because Time Warp does have a huge delay to it, unfortunately. And I'm going to try and get Skype up here in just a sec, as I don't want to miss out on that battle. Yo, we went to the Skype booth at TwitchCon, and I kicked over one of their chairs. I took a picture of it. Show you guys who was boss. Oh, but the Ravagers take out the Mothership Core. Big shots with that corrosive bile. Remember, guys, each of these shots is 60 damage, unmitigatable by armor. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Whatever. The point is, it doesn't get reduced. I'll try and get Zombiegrub back in the call here. Hoi hoi.
Hello.
Gotta love Skype. I'm glad we knocked over that chair.
I showed them.
All
Okay.
right, so the Mothership Core going down is pretty nasty, but there's more important things on the way behind this. We got Disruptors coming up next. This army out of Guru off of Creep is actually not that fast, and it's really hard. I'm speaking from experience here, guys. It's really hard to outrun a Disruptor shot.
Man, the Ravager shots with the upgrade are actually hitting the chunk of the army. Oh, God.
Oh, but the Corrosive Bile takes out a huge chunk of the Stalkers in the back.
Yeah, that range is really adding a lot to it. It's basically getting all the Stalkers that are trying to recover those shields. Exactly what Blink Stalkers are meant to do.
Yeah, the two other factors to this as well, let's not forget, with 13 range, that upgrade, as Zombiegrub said, really far hits the back. But secondly, I always forget about this. Ravagers are not classified as armored units, and they haven't been for several patches. So that's why the Stalkers aren't exactly annihilating this army. Whereas normally Roaches, they melt.
Yeah. Nice thing about this Disruptors right now is that the attack doesn't last too long. So, I mean, if you're already too far away, it's not going to catch up to you. Even off of Creep, really, Guru's not having that tough of a time getting rid of the Disruptors.
I'm surprised. You know, a big part of this, I think, for Puck is really not having those upgrades hurt a lot for this game. But the part of that had to attack was the part that didn't want to take any more damage from the Swarm Host in the back end. But the Disruptors come from the north and catch quite a few of those units. Didn't even see him sneaking around the Warp Prism. Of course, he picks it up. There's one Hydra. There's nothing to actually shoot the Warp Prism.
No, there's one Hydra, and of course Ravager shots if they got lucky, but that was pretty darn good. I mean, that was the tactic they needed to do, is Disruptors weren't getting on top of them just by the, old-fashioned way.
Oh man, that was such a cool move out of Puck. I didn't even notice him worm that around, and neither did Guru, obviously. Well, towards the south, we do have a Magra hatchery down. I guess not a lot of queens to be doing injects right now. In fact, whoa, there's almost no queens doing injects right now. That's something to talk about perhaps in a little bit of time. Guru with a ton of money, but not a lot of units.
Ooh, pretty bad walk into there. That wasn't something I agree with. Expanding towards here is also questionable. I just...
I almost feel like it's a little BM. Like...
I don't know. Oh, God, that was a good shot. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of Hydras, and he still. Well, no, okay, the upgrade did finish, but still, those Hydras are gonna add a lot of DPS. Like this army is still very scary from Guru.
Yeah, I mean, for Puck, he hasn't won the game yet, and that's a big point. But as Guru's forced to fight through this choke, this is the perfect bait. Like, Puck putting this Nexus down actually makes so much more sense to me now, because it's going to force Guru to come through these rocks to kill it. And this choke is everything Puck's relying on for these Disruptors to get those magical shots.
Well, that's absolutely true, but then Guru can also use the same choke for the Ravager shots. Just don't run your Ravagers into it. Oh my God. Never mind about the Ravagers. Only three left over after that.
That Warp Prism with a 6-range pickup. Pretty nice looking.
Two more. Because I was going to say, he could have just, also been defending, using the choke to his advantage, and maybe dying off a little bit here and there because his Disruptors are good, but eventually he gets to Ultralisk, and he could expand to the south because, well, Puck hasn't been harassing at all.
No, he hasn't.
OCTs.
A lot of focus up here towards the north. The Ravager shots are hitting a lot of these Stalkers. The Disruptor shots are hitting a lot of the Ravagers. I mean, this is a very strange stalemate that's developed here. But we do have things attempting to break this with Ultralisks on the way. They're not going to have a lot of armor. These are not going to be the 8 armor Ultralisks that pop. They're going to have Cardinals Platinum +1, so about 5 armor. That's actually not too bad for Puck to deal with. And let's not forget, Disruptor shots are, well, they're literally magic. So armor's not going to matter anyways.
Yeah, they're still pretty good against Ultras. But he is getting,
if you kill the Disruptor, the shot dies. I did not know that until just now. Yeah,
now we know, and thank God, because that was right in the middle of all those Hydras.
Yep. I would definitely, I would love to see Lurkers come into the mix at some point for this too.
Yeah. Well, I do wonder. I do. But it would have been cool to see him experiment with it. He's getting a bunch of other units. And if he had the gas, I'm sure he'd try to get the Ling upgrade too. Because certainly no one's been attacking each other besides these fronts. What? Stargates.
Look at this transition you gotta consider this army, if it were to go down in the blaze of glory, it would take out all the Hydralisks. And if Guru's making things like Ultralisks, this is where Void Rays and such are gonna be god mode.
Oh my god, I'm flying.
The corpse pieces just are disgusting. Ultralisks on the front line. We got those 5 queens, full energy, lots of transfuses ready to party. But there's a disruptor shot, hits the heart of the army. Oh my god! Ultralisks is taking everything. They're trying to take the hits, so the queens are trying to transfuse. They just can't keep up.
No Overseer!
Warp in.
Oh
this
no.
queens are off creep. Rest in pepperonis, ladies.
That attack did not work officially, and now I think Puck can just go ahead and move in and win. He doesn't need to wait for the carrier transition.
No, we asked about seeing a PvZ because we haven't seen a lot of the tactics involved. We've certainly not seen a lot of disruptor usage, but I'm loving what we're seeing.
Oh, goodness.
There we go, some DTs coming in here towards the south. There are spines, so this might not be too bad to deal with. But up in the north, you know, there's Archons on the front line now. This is like the Legacy of the Void cinematic against the Ultralisks. Just chop off the tusks!
Yeah, they wish. The disruptors are, of course, still on cooldown. It's really hard to control everything. I know, like, everyone makes fun of Protoss, like, A move, her, but seriously. Getting the disruptors to actually get some good shots, he's gonna have to wait until they go back into a choke.
I mean,
that's exactly what he's waiting for.
Even with Puck's great control and blink, etc., the problem he's had a lot of is just like, you know, taking those Ravager shots. Even that's not been too devastating. But you know, if this doesn't work, and it probably will, he's getting ready to go mass carriers behind this.
Oh wow, oh wow. So the DTs didn't do it against the spine crawlers. He just warped in a bunch of stuff.
Lots of Zealots, lots of DTs. You know, I just need raw damage. He's gonna take out the Ultralisk Cavern. Now, these were kind of expensive and not proving to really be worth it, so I don't think this is such a big loss, but the mining, and especially the gas income above all else, is something he really desperately needs right now. Guru's got no bank to work with.
No. Of course, Puck has a bank that can go into a carry.
No,
this is game over.
Hit most of that army. Oh my god. Yeah, it just chunks it. He does this to the disruptors, but as you said, I'm pretty sure that's game. +3 Blink Stalkers and the magic to be. Not even able to use those Stargates.
Doesn't have to. He could have. He was waiting until he wasn't maxed out anymore, but he just kept maxing out on Stalkers.
Good game. Puck is gonna take game number 1 in this best of 3. That was pretty freaking glorious.
It was fun. I don't care that disruptors may or may not be balanced. I think that they're not so bad, honestly, but they're at least very fun.
It was, well, no. Before we even talk about the balance element of it, the thing is there was a lot of control on both sides. Both were like, we saw disruptor shots get dodged, we saw Ravager shots get dodged. Like, that wasn't just one thing where you've got disruptors and auto win. That actually took a lot of work for both players. So I really don't think they're that bad either. But we haven't seen them enough to have like a really greatly informed opinion.
Well, that was quick. True leaves one team, joins another.
Oh, what team is he on? I didn't realize he has Off Dead Pixels.
Yeah, announced today. He joined Sicrum Gaming.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
That's that was a quick turnaround. I know a lot of people in the Dead Pixels thread was like, "Oh, I really hope he goes back to a Kespa team."
Well, it makes me think specifically on what Oli Moly was telling us about the Koreans.
Yes.
So. True. Oh, true. Alright, well, it's just game number 1, guys. We'll hold off the ad break for now. We're going to wait till this first series gets played out, as that was quite a good game, and I can't wait to see what map 2 has in store. I also wonder, too, if that was a different map, would that have played out differently? I mean, that choke spot was so just absolutely perfect for everything Puck wanted. Taking the Nexus there, too, putting the pylons, even cannons went down. I mean, that was the ultimate spot to siege up.
Yeah. I mean, again, Guru could have done the opposite and just started expanding south, which he tried to do, but I was paying attention, and he never actually transferred drones to that middle base. He was not on that great of an economy. And then finally, Puck remembered that he had DTs anyways, and good luck defending against that.
Yeah.
With no bank.
So our total, by the way, is now $1,275 raised for BlizzCon funds, guys. So thank you so much, everybody, for helping contribute towards that. And for those who might not know what the deal with that is, we're splitting it 50-50. Zombiegrub's going to put 1,000 towards her BlizzCon trip. I'll put 1,000 towards mine, so we can both go there, have a great time, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But let me see what's going on with map 2. Oh, there we go. Orbital Shipyard. All right. We'll see how this one plays out. We don't have a map intro for it because, unfortunately, the Legacy of the Void maps are not available in the editor, guys. So you just have to deal with us talking for a little bit longer. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. I like really. There's so many tweets coming in where people are asking like, how long is she gone for? Is she fired? Is she coming back? Like, and I just want to not answer them. I just want to like. I think the mystery is more fun, but also a little bit trolly. And you know me, I'm trolly. But yeah, for those who are just tuning in, didn't hear the spiel earlier. Zombiegrub is going to Korea, taking a vacation for 2 weeks. She's been planning this like all year, and she's still gonna cast a couple of things. She'll miss some of the stuff we normally do, but not much. It's just 2 weeks. But let's hop into game number 2. Spawning here in the upper right side of Orbital Shipyard, it's going to be the Green Zerg player, Guru.
The bottom left, as the purple Protoss, it's Puck.
We got a really shitty Protoss in chat right now, Zombiegrub.
Crank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him earlier.
Can someone go ahead and ban Crank for me, please? I don't want him ruining all our other chatters.
He's a mod. Only you can do it.
Oh. Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe that was the joke.
Really? Kind of a lame joke if that was a joke.
Actually, gotta give some love to Crank. I'm glad he's been back to streaming lately. Actually, all the Axiom guys have been back to streaming lately, which is great. And it's good to see Crank in chat. So, hi Crank! We'll give you the Crank high five, all the good stuff. Guru's gonna take that third base first again. He did this on Bridgehead. He's doing it here in Orbital. This isn't terrible, but it is interesting to see him intentionally go for the thirds as his naturals.
I mean, usually the appeal of this is you get your creep up there faster, but
I don't think spreading creep is as hard to do anymore. What with the changes?
Well, yeah, and it's not as important versus Protoss as well. So I mean, I don't even think we saw like. Oh, we saw some creep tumors. That's right, and the Adept killed one.
Yeah,
but not a lot.
For those who don't know, I guess that's another big part of the game that changed recently. And it might not seem like a big deal, but trust me, when it comes to creep mechanics, creep is friggin' huge. Creep now spreads at a much faster, like an alarmingly fast rate, but it also recedes at a faster ratio as well. So getting creep spread out is not that difficult to do. All you need is a couple of tumors and a small amount of dedication.
I'll see if Puck does anything different after scouting this quick third again.
I mean, he responded to greed with his own greed, and as we saw, it paid off pretty well. I would actually be a little more concerned about Guru. Now, maybe he doesn't go super dedicated all in like we saw with Bly. Doesn't go for Roach Burrow and end the game at 7 minutes, but still, it's something where maybe pressure from him could be a lot better than trying to play greedy, as it did take him a long time to actually get that Ravager army up and running.
Did. So far, Puck has not thrown down that fourth, but he is banking an awful lot of minerals and not getting much else. Oh, there's an Adept. That's right, he started poking with that first. Oh, there is a Robo. That's a lot more interesting. So eventually you got a Robo last game on 3 base, like you normally do. But they got it on 2 base, and right underneath that Overlord, that's bold, it might indicate a Adept's Immortal all-in, or Warp Prism shenanigans with Adepts that can buy an awful lot of time.
So I actually just had, sorry, totally random thought. You know the picture I used of you for the silly banner for this tournament?
What?
My amazing Photoshop job.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were saying what because you didn't see it or not. Would you be upset if I actually took that face image and replaced your current Ace ZG emote with that one? Because I'm looking at the ACG one in chat right now, and like, yo, I don't know. I feel like that's not the best representation of you.
It just isn't encapsulate what makes me me. That face you used on the Photoshop, it looks a little bit more trolly.
It doesn't have the essence of Zombiegrub.
I wouldn't mind.
Actually, I was thinking more for the hat than anything else, to be honest. But yeah, okay, also that part what you just said.
You know what's so funny, though, is that people who have yet to meet me in real life and like don't like stalk our photos, right? Like if they only see me on the cast, they have no idea that I wear a hat.
That mind blown.
Yeah.
Didn't put that together till just this moment.
But I wouldn't mind.
Ooh, sick build cancel, by the way, out of those drones. Okay, I'll look into that a little bit later. Also, I was thinking, because we're talking about getting new emotes. Yo, we need like a bag of money with a, not a dollar sign, but like a P on it, so the bank heist for the Partoofs, you know? Or maybe a gun check one instead. One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, thinking about emotes is hard, man.
You guys let us know in chat what you want to see more: a gun check or like a bag of Partoof money. I mean, we got the Partoof coin emote, which is cool and all, but I don't know. Anyways, Warp Prism is getting shuttled across the map.
Oh my god, they could use the table flipping, you know, guy and flip the Partoofs into the coin bag. Oh, perfect.
No, it'd be like Bioshock, where it's like Booker catch, and like flicks the coin or whatever. I know you didn't play, but you must have seen that at some point.
I saw it, yeah.
Dude, oh my god, that actually be pretty perfect. Okay, we're definitely doing a bag of coins. We actually have like possibly 3 emote spots, depending on how many subs we get. But anyways, talk more about that later. We actually have a really cool harass coming down with a lot of adepts to the mineral line and a warp prism that will instantly warp in several more should Puck want to. Now, I might just actually keep these alive and use the warp prism's 6 range to turn these into what is essentially blink adepts.
Oh, I forgot they could kill the larva so quickly. Oh god.
Yep.
Oh, that's so nasty. Anyways, so this was obviously the warp row was used for this warp prism, and the warp prism, it is so effective at harass. It's so silly, whatever. That it buys a lot of time. Behind this, Puck got a third base, as well as started to transition into carriers once again, going into those stargates.
I am curious about this though. We have seen this. We have played this. If you decide to go just straight up mass air, it's actually not that great versus Zerg players who know what's up. Corruptors are still really good and easy to make. Oh, it's Phoenix. Okay, we'll talk about this in a second, but...
yeah, well, remember that show match we did? Puck seems to still like it.
Yeah.
You know, he would go into, like, Adepts, because on the ground, they'll take care of the Hydras. If they do end up going Hydras fairly quickly, Adepts are pretty good against them. But they'll go Phoenix, you know, get the harass, get the pickup options, get the map control, and eventually go into basically a perfect composition. So, carriers, oracles to do the revelation, Adepts on the ground need be... you know, sniping off the Vipers so they don't get the parasitic bomb. He's actually very good and very, what's the word? Not mechanical, but like very specific about how he plays with that style, and it's pretty good.
I gotta say, this is some like Archon mode level micro. Oh no, I take it back!
Until then.
I ruined it. Okay.
You ruined it.
So first off, hearing them die inside the warp prism is actually very sad. That death cry from like within. I was gonna say, up to this point though, that was some fantastic micro, and something you would have seen only really in an Archon mode tournament. Puck was doing really well with that harass, then fucked it all up majorly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually quite bad. That was buying him a ton of time. His army is not bad, but it can be overrun right now, and luckily Guru is not committing to this attack. He's getting some drones as well as a lot of tech behind it too.
I am honestly shocked that that wasn't a double overcharge. I mean, the point of putting 3 pylons down was just to have that wall of defense with photon overcharge. But, okay, so let's see here. Dialing back, Guru does take a 4th base while this goes on. Creep spread is actually looking pretty darn nice. And of course, not just mobility, but vision that this provides is always good to have. Puck also takes his 4th behind this as well, and he's still going mass Phoenix. And you know what? Through that attack, and through everything so far, he's not revealed the Phoenix yet. This almost seems trolly, but I don't know. This reminds me of casting the 2v2s, Zombiegrub.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't cast 2v2 in so long, but Mass Phoenix was legitimate in it. And in Archon mode, they are so freaking annoying, but even without Archon partner, they can do a lot of damage. You just don't expect this many Phoenix, so they don't care about a Spore Crawler.
Sorry, camera control got a little bug in there, guys.
The attack is on its way, hoping to draw the Phoenixes back, no doubt, but it is only roaches, and we do have Adepts and Immortals, which should just be enough to take care of it. A bit of indecision. Hydras do come out, and they're pretty plentiful, so the Phoenixes are too scared to pick them up. Fungals are also on their way as Infestors start up.
For those who are putting on chat, Zombiegrub is louder than me because Skype crashed and didn't save sound settings. That should be rectified now. But let's be honest. You'd rather hear Zombiegrub than Rifkin. Anyhow. I want to give a big thank you to Yui. Friggin' Yui. Just sweetest girl in the universe, just donating $50. And I'm going to try and do my best Yui impression. Like, oh my No, okay, that's gonna sound terrible. I'll stop. But more
Holy
BlizzCon
shit.
funds with a heart. I hope to see you again. All caps. Thank you so much, Yui.
Just like stop misrepresenting me. They're not gonna check out my channel. That's
No,
their son.
Yui's seriously like one of my favorite people, guys. So thank you, Yui. That's really awesome.
All right, so gonna take away this gold base. I mean, Guru did have the map technically, and Phoenixes can't really do anything about structures. That taking the gold base isn't a bad idea. Problem is, Puck does have a nice ground army, and the Phoenixes do add a lot. We have even more Phoenixes on the way. In fact, it's not a transition to characters, not yet anyways. He's getting the upgrade for Phoenixes.
Well, this is interesting because while Corruptors do come out, and they will be tanky enough for sure, I really don't know the Gurus actually have an army that can fight this, because the Phoenix and the Corruptors are going to be dogfighting in the sky, sure, but the Adepts are going to run train on the Hydralisks on the ground. The reality is, it's much easier, it's much faster, and it's much cheaper to mass-produce Adepts than it is Hydralisks.
Yeah, they're a lot better. Well, we do have some Brood Lords, some Corruptors, and some Ravagers with a grab bag of everything right now, versus just what is very strong Adepts getting all their upgrades. Even getting an armor upgrade now, and a lot of Phoenixes, and the potential transition to both carriers or Tempests. Now, Tempests have really just not been used. They got their thing taken away, didn't they?
Yes, they no longer...
Their ability?
Actually, I actually don't know if it got taken away. I know that they just reverted the damage for sure, though. So they now have, like, not crappy damage in range. We'll see once they get built. I'm actually not sure if they took away the damage over time effect or not. The really cool thing about that too was like the fact that it stopped healing. I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe they mentioned that they would maybe want to do it because it is kind of powerful. I don't know, but the point is that Tempest.
No, we're gonna find out like 3 seconds ago.
Right. Well, he has to actually find a building to use it on, so I don't know about that. Anyways, Tempest still have their range, which is absolutely critical if you're going to go for a mass air army, because you need to get rid of those Vipers. The only way to do that is to hit them before they can hit you, basically. And feedbacks can be helpful, but, you know, we all have seen High Templars run into an army trying to feedback something and just die, and that's a big gas investment.
Oh yeah, they do not have any ability to catch them.
Okay, so it was kind of I mean, it made them a little more interesting, I suppose, but really their biggest, strength was that range, and I don't see why they needed something else that was kind of stupidly good.
Protoss Air has always been very fickle and interesting, Killing some of his own units to build some supply sounds hella loud. So many cannons here, I love that Puck's doing this. He doesn't have a bank right now because he's invested in so much static defense at each of his bases. There's no Ling run by that's going to kill his fifth over here.
If the Lings ever got fully upgraded, I think they definitely could. Like 3/3 Adrenal Gland Lings, I think could definitely tear it down. But the problem is Guru either doesn't know they're that effective or realizes that taking it, down that path would take way too long because he went for a Hydra. But he's never gotten that upgrade.
Very true. Double overcharges coming off. You see this fight come under effect. Storm's still not done, but almost ready to go.
Oh,
Ravager Corrosive Bile, take out that Mothership Core. No more photon overcharges. Phoenix have got to start dodging around soon. Fungal Growth catches almost everything, but he gets on top of the Broodlords.
Yeah, he gets on top of the Hydras as well. Picks up a lot of them. The army got fungled. It wasn't helping, but it is still back there. The Adept is just not very helpful right now, but it looks like
Phoenix are gonna lift
even
everything.
without him, and DT's being warped in again. No Overseer. Of course, how could he ever get an Overseer?
Well,
Because Phoenix is that.
Yeah, there was an Overseer, but it was almost taken out immediately. Now, Guru does kill the base, but this is not that important of a base. We actually have all these other ones up and running for Puck, so not too devastating of an attack. And trades out a lot of his army. I'm worried about this, though. There is actually a chance for Guru to bring this back, because Puck is going mass carriers, behind this, and I don't... Wait, what the hell did that not kill that? Carriers are not bad. But I am worried about the fact that everything is going to be pretty susceptible to a lot of Hydras, and more importantly, a lot of Corruptors.
Yeah, now we don't usually see a humongous bank in Legacy of the Void, but Guru still had one, and he is doing the Zerg thing. You take a decent engagement, but the point is your economy was stronger behind it. Your bank was stronger behind it. So, Puck has to be very, very careful. At this point, he still knows that his army isn't perfect, and he still needs to be expanding and waiting and not pushing. Like, he wasn't desperate, he just wanted to apply a little bit of pressure. But he will eventually get to that perfect army as these carriers start popping out and the upgrades start finishing. That he'll feel pretty confident he's going to win. If it's anything like the beginning of Legacy of the Wood anyways.
Man, this is just our first best of 3 today, too. I'm loving the way this goes, because we've had too many short, lame games that end, like, 10 minutes in. Crazy rushes, big attacks. This is the first time we're seeing a lot of macro and, honestly, a diverse amount of strategy. You know, big part of that's the fact we have Protoss playing, but still, interesting to say the way this is going.
Yeah. Here's something worrying. Guru has the very old-fashioned way of dealing with air. Oh! How did that didn't actually do much. Never mind.
That could have been so cool.
That looked amazing. It didn't actually happen. But he has no Vipers. So I guess he assumes that if he made them, the Phoenix would just pick them off anyways, so he really needs to get rid of the Phoenixes first.
Parasitic bombs would help get rid of those Phoenix.
Right, so it's kind of a conundrum, I suppose, or maybe he just straight up forgot.
And these spores are just like, I am not useful.
Guys. Yeah, he really wants to get you with the fungal, but absolutely, Parasitic Bomb.
Parasitic Bomb would devastate a lot of what's available on the map.
Right. But the thing is, he either predicts that he forgot they exist, and that's his bad, or he predicts that Puck would be good enough to be able to split and not take huge damage. I don't know. It seems worth to try to get Vipers, though, especially since he has still a bank to kind of, you know, test things out with. He's not totally out of cash yet.
Unfortunately, what you used to be able to do that you can no longer do is you could actually target interceptors with a parasitic bomb. You can now only target the carriers. Now, maybe that was on purpose, maybe that was a bug, I'm unsure, but parasitic bomb was so good when that was the case, you would take out all the interceptors no problem. Same with the Phoenix. A lot of this stuff that's coming to production for Puck, again, still parasitic bomb would be good against. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, the Viper has a brand new ability. It creates an area of effect damage spell around a targeted unit, and it does damage over time. It's kind of crazy, kind of strong, kind of good.
Yeah, definitely misses that fungal. He's also bleeding out all of these outlying expansions that he actually really is starting to need, as his bank has been pretty much depleted. No harassment on his side either, as he's been trying to deal with all the Phoenixes. Does save the gold base again, but no anti-air, so no drones have been transferred over to this. It's really been useless.
Oh, we even have a mothership on the way, too. Not just the mothership core, but the mothership. This unit was buffed with speed, as most Band-Aid fixes do. And it's supposed to be able to keep up with the carriers and the rest of the army now, which is interesting.
It
Cloaking
does.
field, no new abilities. It's all the same. It just moves faster.
You'll see. It's actually very noticeable how much faster it moves.
Oh my god. He's only going to have like 2 overseers, and those are totally going to die like right away.
Even to the people that have missed the mothership days, whether it was Breather Infestor or Swarm Hosts, like, you'll still notice it's a lot faster.
Oh, Corrosive Bile might be better than Hydralis thinking on this if it can hit those clumped up carriers, but not going to be the case. Starts running away. Storm goes down as well. Chases off the Zerg army temporarily.
Yeah, those Corruptors are...
Oh, he dumped? Why did he dump the Interceptors?
Because it just, as you said before, it just doubles the DPS, it looks like. Like, they rebuild it so quickly.
It does, but I just feel defensively it's not,
Yeah.
It's not a Guru. He knows what he's up against. Like, why? Blizzard, why?
So, Puck is very good about this composition, so it is, like, you know, very... It's sad, because what you need is you need those parasitic bombs to actually hit, as well as a really good engagement opportunity, you know, like a good concave or something. But it is possible to kill it. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, area of effect is the right way to go. Things like fungal growths, things like parasitic bombs, things like Ravager, Corrosive Biles, these are all that they could stack and definitely play well off of each other. Carriers are pretty notorious for stacking as well when moved in clumps, so it's always really scary to see if that's going to come into effect or not. Like, look at the Protoss army in the area. It is just naturally clumping up. It's just how it moves.
So Ravagers really aren't that bad of an idea if they can get those shots off. But still, like, the lack of Vipers, even just... I realize that if you make 6 and they all die, that's a huge waste, but that's usually what we see, and it seems to be the only thing that will work. Like, any amount of parasitic bombs at the sacrifice of a Viper, it's the only way you can go.
Well, Protoss in the audience, be glad you get to see the Golden Armada come into full effect. Corrosive Bile's going down. We'll take out one of the carriers.
Storms.
Oh.
The Storms are right now the scariest thing as well, which is very unfortunate. They're doing a great job guarding against the army.
Yeah, very complimentary forces, but Corrosive Bile's take out a lot of damage for those carriers.
You know, the upgrade for Corrosive Bile was, I think, put in for ZDZ more than anything else, but it's very interesting that it's affecting so many other matchups so much, versus mech, versus carriers, specifically here.
Yeah, I mean, it was meant initially to be a way to deal with the Lurker without getting screwed, but, yeah, this, I don't know, he's fighting tooth and nail here. Corruptors, doing what they can to take out the Interceptors. Same with the Hydras, but even bleeding out these Interceptors is not that big of a deal. Fungal Growth goes down, doesn't quite catch everything. Corrosive Bomb not going to be able to hit that army. Barely misses it.
Yeah.
And Guru's starting to run out of steam. But you know what? He's taking out most of the Interceptors. Puck's army here is not that great. Guru might actually just be able to auto-attack into this. There's almost no Interceptors left to play with.
The Ravagers all walked into the army for whatever reason, though, so he's down to just 2. They kept on having almost amazing shots.
That was his time to go. With no Interceptors in play, it would have been the greatest opportunity to move in. But now that Puck's had more than 30 seconds, he's rebuilt over half the Interceptors.
Yeah. You know, weren't we talking to Vibe, and he said that 3/3 Corruptors are actually make this kind of easy? Maybe that's also what he's missing. It's just the lack of upgrades on these Corruptors.
True. Interceptors have very low damage. There's just a ton of them. Corruptors come heavily armored.
Yeah. Too bad we won't be able to see if I was correct or not, as these upgrades are only... They're only at 2/2, you know, not quite ideal. And it looks like... I mean, not really. It looks like Puck's about to, like, move and win, basically. All the Ravagers are gone. The Hydras are decent, but not great.
I really love those corrosive bomb shots. I think they were the best part of what was going on in this game. We just saw him unload the Interceptors directly on top of the Hydralisk army, so rebuilding brand new ones. Storm's going down as well. That's going to be it for Guru.
Like, it looks so promising because the Interceptors look like doing, like dinky little things you can kill, but they just rip through anything. There's no attacking them. It's interesting.
Well, congratulations to Puck. He will take the series, and due to the severely long length of that series, he will be the one we continue to cast. There are other great matches going on. Nurcho versus Patience would have been my next pick, but I do want to see Puck versus True, which will be up next.